All right, my man, the multi-talented Gene Noble on tour right now in Europe with Usher. How is Europe treating you, brother?
Amazing, man. We've had an amazing tour. It's been completely sold out shows everywhere, and the crowds have been crazy. So they've been showing a lot of love. So it's been cool.
What little gems can you pick up? Obviously, you've been on stage, you've been on the road, you've wrote for legendary artists, but what experiences and gems can you pick up from touring with someone like Usher?
Man, I mean, to be able to just be on stage with someone who is like one of the best to ever do it, you can't help but sponge some things from that. I mean, just interaction with the crowd, how to put a show together, vocals, of course, just interacting with people and like just seeing the response to certain things, what things to do, what things not to do. So, I mean, I feel like I'm constantly learning.
Man, you just told me off record, 20 years of touring. Do you still feel like there's things you're learning about touring? Do you feel like you kind of have it down to a science?
I'm learning constantly, and the crazy thing is transitioning now more so into touring for myself.
Mhm.
Like this summer, I'm on tour. I toured last year with Durand. So kind of transitioning is a whole other side of it. Like I see more of the inner workings of how to put the tour together and make shows happen from a whole different angle now. And it's kind of like, I never had to really worry about, making sure the seats are full and all that kind of stuff. And I just got on stage and performed. So now I'm like more concerned with the total part of putting the show together, the whole creative of it. And I'm loving that actually. It's really, really cool.
It's busy times for me, man. You come back from Europe, you go back on tour with Duran Burner. What keeps you, I don't want to say motivated, because obviously you love performing, but how do you keep going? How do you go from one tour to the next and just to continue that path?
I mean, I love it. I absolutely love it. And I mean, I look at it as, it is my job. So it's like, just like anybody else who works their full time job all the time, I take only just a little bit of time off in the year, and the rest of it I work just like everybody else. You know what I mean? It's
For
just a
sure.
different career.
I mean, you're a singer, songwriter, producer, artist, performer. Your titles are getting more and more in this music genre thing. Do you have a At this point in your career, do you have a preference in which facet of the game you're kind of showing a little more attention to, or is it important to you to stay diverse?
My two favorite things. My first favorite thing is performing live, and that's probably why I've done so much touring.
Hmm.
Is that I love the impact of like getting that immediate response live, and then second would be being in the studio. So I like creating in the studio and performing live. Those are my two favorite.
Anytime someone tackles a cover or remakes a song, especially a song that was looked at as a classic, not saying you need it, but I always feel like an artist wants that little bit of validation, that cosign. When you remade Ready for Love from NDRE, what was it like to see her cosign that and tell you did an amazing job?
It was crazy because I never expected her to see it, hear it, nothing, let alone respond for it. And I actually didn't even know she followed me on social media.
Oh wow.
So the first time I saw that was when she actually replied. So that was crazy. I was in shock when I woke up to that. And it's a great feeling because it's such a specific and special song. So I did want to do it justice. So I was hoping that if she ever did hear it, she would like it. So to get that right off the bat was real cool.
Yeah, that was dope, bro. And it's crazy because if you look at your 2020 hit Matching Tattoos, it's almost like a full circle relationship moment to do Ready for Love. I don't know if that was your intention, but that's what I got from it.
No, definitely, definitely. And I think, just where I'm at in life, it was those words like spoke to me and resonated a lot more. It's cool. It's a really dope song, and I really wanted to just kind of give a male perspective on that record.
I'm glad you said that, man, because I always think it can be tricky for a male to remake a cover of a female song. I think you nailed it. Were you a little skeptical about that, or did you just dive right in?
No, I think the thing is, we we need to be having more vulnerability in our music. I think that's what's missing. That's why everybody was always talking about going back to R&B from the 90s and the early 2000s. Because, we would be vulnerable and, beg for a woman's, love and apologize and,
Definitely.
say I love you, all those kinds of things. So, like, I think that's what people feel like is missing. So, to take on a song that is typically, done by a woman, but actually is a feeling that we both feel, is I think that's something that's important to do.
You also did a collaboration with Summer Dennis, a song called Unnecessary. And to me, she has a very unique sound, delivery. And you guys still mesh so well. What is the key to making great music, even when, because she doesn't have a traditional sound? What do you feel like the keys of making great music is in the music game?
Well, I think it's just, I look at it like a conversation, when you have a conversation with anybody, you try to, relate to them and you try to get them to understand where you're coming from and you want to understand where they're coming from. So it's like it's not a cutter thing. It's like one size fits all can't be the way. You have to like look at it each as an individual thing. So when I heard the record, I really was like, okay, she's saying, that she kind of doesn't necessarily want something more serious. So it's like, from the male perspective, I'm like trying to explain to her, I may want to experience something more serious. So it was cool. I had a lot of fun doing that.
For everything I just said, have you ever turned down a collaboration or a project because there just wasn't a mesh there, or do you try to kind of come into everything open minded?
Yeah, I definitely have turned things down that don't fit, and I've done things that people have asked me to do that they were like, "Oh, we didn't think you would do this because maybe the person's not, not big enough or known enough." But I just the record spoke to me. That's what's most important for me is like if the song speaks to me, if I feel like I could do something with it or bring something to it, then I'll do it. If not, I'll leave it alone.
No doubt, bro. I love the Feel Away project, man. So Dry is my joint. I know you're not touring and putting these singles out for nothing, man. When can we expect the next project from Gene Noble?
Oh, it's coming. It's coming. I got a couple more covers that I'm going to slowly roll out. And then we're going to start rolling out a new song like every few weeks and then the whole new project out. So by the end of the summer, there'll definitely be a bunch more music and a full project.
Man, obviously your confidence is intact. Your voice is amazing. But has there ever been a cover that somewhat intimidated you?
There are certain people that Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, Prince, Luther Vandross, because they're such big icons and those songs are so iconic. I tend to be very careful with those songs. Like if I'm going to do them, I got to make sure I do them right because I respect and love their craft so much. And I just, I want to make sure that if I'm going to touch it, I'm going to do it some justice. I really feel like that about any song. If I'm going to touch it, it got to be something that's going to make it, bring something different to it and be it's going to justify me doing it and not just me doing something.
Definitely. No doubt, man. This is the ultimate compliment. I still haven't figured out quite who you sound like, who to compare you to, your style, your voice. Being that is an ultimate compliment, I'll just ask, who are some of your musical influences? Because you do have your own like niche, you have your own thing going, and that's a great thing. But who are some of your influences?
I was really so after my voice changed, my voice I became a baritone, like bass baritone, and so I had like bass baritone vocals, but I also had a strong falsetto. So I started really listening to like a lot of Prince, a lot of D'Angelo, Eric Benet, Music Soul Child, anybody who kind of sung like in those ranges. That all was really important for me. So gospel heavy. I was into a lot of gospel music. I came up. I was in church a lot, so that was really heavy. I'm very influenced by that. And then I was on the open mic scene in New York, so like people like Ron Grant, Melanie Daniels, Cheryl Bunchy Riley. Those were huge influences for me in New York, and it taught me like a lot about you got 30 seconds to keep somebody's attention who don't know who you are, who don't really care about what's going on right now. They try to probably talk to this girl at the bar or whatever,
That's a great point.
so you got 30 seconds. You got to get to it. You got to get people's attention. And it taught me a lot about how to command an audience.
Before I let you go, I'm so glad you said command the audience. How does it feel to go to all these places, especially in other countries, when you see different ethnicities and people that aren't from the United States vibing to your music? What kind of high is that?
It is really, really incredible. Honestly, last year when I toured Europe with Duran, and then the year before that, I opened for PJ Morton in Europe, and to meet people who barely speak English, who know all the words to your songs, or standing in the crowd and singing your songs, is just the most incredible feeling. And I mean, I've obviously experienced that with a lot of other artists. I toured with Sting for 6 years.
Wow.
Chris Brown, Usher. So I've seen that happen for other people. So it's totally different now to have that happen for me.
Well, Gene, brother, it's an honor speaking to you, man. I'm so glad you're over there killing it in Europe, and we look forward to having you back over here and rocking some stages in the States, my man. Anything before I let you go, brother?
No, just everybody go stream something, add something to add something to your playlist. You know what I'm saying? Go grab some merch, support independent artists, and we about to do this U.S. tour. It's going to be amazing, and there's going to be a lot more music coming. And I appreciate you, man.
No doubt. Go get some Gene Noble. You will not be disappointed.